Akwama biano a Christopher hotelfo anase esoma udoma hotelfo ebenya de akwakodi ho anase edin ene wo nanso eni ho ehye nipa da sani ebetu akwawiem ene onyankropon akotena democracy eyema bibifo anase enyema yen kwasi broni trim popa ene sentia wode vaccination eba abibiman mu na family plan so mpo no ehye ben ana kwasi broni hye e wodi krom entia wode etoa yen eba ne sen ana gay ati atese e wo wiase afana nyinara ene we se Illuminati ene we se Freemason ene we se sumwe mu ni nyinara Ashasi free no broni timpo a wode sane ma we nyara e ba no de ato abibima mu no ene sen we entram so hwe Wake Up Africa kwasiada we ni kwasiada bia awia dumienu ekopem awia no mienu live on Royal TV eye adwumadi a ofa poku danko ye executive director edema Free the Mind Movement ene ofa Israel Nkroma a eye coordinator edema Free the Mind Movement no
ebeka me Kofi kumi ho
na yesim konya na madi dwumadi e wo chiame na ensem bia tise no ye gina twekronkron so abakosem ene ntwere ahodo so na ede mo hu ba bia obibini ufiri enu mu a edro ene soma wo sombo na mabrofo sisi a che ebra so se call together trend kaye no etumi bam ne no ana hya ase o Free the Mind Movement dwumadi e fese Wake Up Africa dwumadi so praso se ye fa dwumadi live on Royal TV so kwasiada we ni kwasiada bia awia dumienu kopim no mienu na ya jo so adwenche na wasemmisa yeye ano e de ma Wake Up Africa abibiman moma yen sore
one business general Abatown Ayeniko multimedia so pay video editing, photo shoot, photo editing, documentary, business advert, music video, funeral program, birthday parties, onya uni haukra. Esan say Niko multimedia ebeye ningina. Nesu yenwie yo so we your wedding papa bi Niko multimedia si en ha ho kra o me cover ningina ma. So we are sorry anaso say uye ejumakuo bi a opesa u streaming live u program aye social media handles na aye Twitter, Facebook and the keka ho na because multimedia se woni how esan so mo ye ni nyina live abra program na ekoso because multimedia se omotonton gadget aye media gadget papa ebini aye audio and video equipment, cameras, speakers, microphones, mixers, nyina Niko multimedia aye ho adwuma Niko multimedia e wo Koforidia e ho ana motare betimi afrend Niko multimedia e wo 0244549107 aye Niko multimedia the media general e wo town. Thank you.
Amuna oba ye krum se oba betray yamesu ache no toni ba ache no dia sase akwanu mana dia sanyo akwanu mana dia sanyo akwanu mana dia sanyo akwanu mana
Ghana this year Ghana mapapa osomfo Kofi kumi awia prem tubrei agwakese matnem eye Wake Up Africa dwumadi Royal Television so ahaya na dwumadi ubenya no pramo to say ya dwumadi abusua na mene mpanyifo asinkonwa na kese ye de dwumadi asomo mpanyifo ben a eye wo fire opoku dankwa a wo ye executive director edema iko friend Free the Mind Movement ana ne ba Israel Nkroma omo ana pramo to bia Royal Television so Wake Up Africa dwumadi so no yesinkonya na dwumadi yede somo enen so pramo ato yesinkonya dwumadi no wontia ene yetia yede ba be somo na wotwe ne unim se ofa akase na wotwe bia no otenase a ba bia no kura ne hye no enoa enwa krado so de be somo na ba bia omachinchim ntro no a de afa nwan afa bia no obepa ho ntoma na gese ye nyina yehu ba bia no kura ne da anu nti na wotwe ne ofatena ase no ampa oye ne saa owura abema no so na ne ahinka bia no yipie ye ema ye behu se eye UN for eco meeting bi na omu meeting na koshia ye no omu de nsem bi kobobo nsem bi de nsem bi tudwa na omu se pact for the future ni nyina ne se eye Antonio Guterres eye UN Secretary General oda otia konya no so say UN for the tumi amano tumi ben ya omu ma ne tumi say bibi esi enya afie nsa na UN country members na form UN na face na yakotena se na yakobobo ho akọ debate ho akọ chirechira adwene akọ sasa adwene akọ voti na yakoka se me mpewei se sa 2 minutes nyina na ni obi ansam biem omaje ni nyina de ama Antonio Guterres ana se obi biara sa UN Secretary General akonya no yede ne betena so no ono na sa 2 minutes kuta no ntene eno eye tumi a yede ama no na no ena ofama ye hu hihye ya hodo a oma hyehya se sa 2 minutes mu no ene ma otumi ye ni nyina no ofada na di na enen so ya tena si ofa bewura bama no so na ne ahinta bia no enen so ode asomo ene de ofa nko a na me ne edi djuma no ye bra panyi eye Israel dwumadie bi atwe no ekoba bi foforo eno nti no enne onka ye ho ewo fidua yi mu na fidua kase yi mu onim se ye hia ne ye tena sese ya na kyese aye bagya abusuan fra abusuan onuan fra onua odofo fra odofo be glued to the seat isan say dwumadie na ye ehuru ne santi na me ka kire wo se eye abefontintan so YouTube na Facebook ebia na onti unifie onti TV anim ane abefontintan so koso a ohwehwe wake up Africa GH a obehwe dwumadie live na onso waka ho saa nso na YouTube ho no obetimi afa odo message aba Facebook obetimi do message aba saa nso so na WhatsApp na text message fasom me na ode mamia matransi making kind the amount number no 0206 519335 0206 519335 abusia sa ukọ eye YouTube Facebook eye yan media platform a ye bobo so akire wono a especially YouTube na adama bi ho ukọ anu aboso amayen na wa subscribe se be ya ye the video to wa onsa beka ye san show nkunan se chema wunuanom na mfasode adwumadie eye ma wo no unuanom so atumi anya san mfasode ni bi eno nti wa ba doma no so no wa subscribe no na wa chama unuanom so a aka yedi obio no ya aseda piesie a yede ma eye free the mind empanyifo nyina endra me say dwumadie kase ekoso ewo headquarters eye Kaokudi cultural center ye papa ne ye annual general meeting a eba so na no na mpanyifo se me fa aseda ma obi biara otimbe pie mu o sa dwumadie na se Ghana mantwe ba bia ofi ba ye no obaade enyamu nyina kese na obaade emie mu adwene mu ne mu nti ase mu na endra ne ye papa direction a ode ma ye nyina no ene ne one ye kai nyina no yetimi asom twe na afi ye de ya ho odene ene yenim dia ye nyansa ne ye nti ase ye honhom obaade de adom ye no ye de aso obaade adwumanim ne ya pagya amana konkan okay makane saa awie no se ye bekoye papa ho na afi yada na di na dwumadie no ake se ya to aso ane aba
Kobi
makwa
ejo so
mujiri se bibia eboko
oba de adawo
yo afamba to so dua mama Africa se enen so menso me da wase ane ene de ai mashe aha eja woni ya bi we de mama Africa enti mama Africa ane wada Roma aseda piesie enkomaw aha se wo hwɛ me a eno a maye kama maye kiko eye wada Roma aha minim se ofa de wada wase a eno nti ye nyina ye da wase ane woni wo mpanyifo eye Zion Ladies Executive obade nhira mo no nyam kese okay aba say dwumadie ni nyina mabɔ ne tofa na senia last week ye di see ye no say ne o ka say ye beto aso eno nti abusua no aye krado me say me kwa dan
yo kovi that's it ye di ka be chi ahwefo
fa ahwefo no agye so
say o banya abutre amaye ye mbre record ye so ye re
sa
ya to su mienu enra obi eto amade bi efiri odan
oh okay
o se friend no Davi di Davi so hwa small bosco no be kan ni nyina pepepe e asida na esem bi ma na e me nwanwa se kunshia obi da otu amade ese di abra e asida da dase di bosco bai e o meeting jo bai of a kind of pepepe
okay
Maria no kovi yeguso aye ka internet fufo na eba send the last week keka aye me ekosi say e say buy internet nu ye nya obia ebe eno omuso den sakraye bebre eba na me kan bibi about metaverse no ni technology new internet no ya nwene e wo so ne ka metaverse ye ka about a scenario ye virtual reality, augmented reality, mixed reality. And I say virtual no go be bisa I to say idea answer then you they create say eni enye actual adekro no but virtual a simulation bi near the eye. No, any the basis of internet here, yeah, baby room. I friend web 3.0. Now, no, unya room the metaverse no technology ni yense. Ubekwa kwa kunya new forms of social interaction because wo de wo tinchen and our internet so nkafe so kwa Google na translate de o hwe na wo so o already obutumi akwa ka ho wo screen no so bi na adekuro no a omo ye ni nyina o so ayi enema bi ne yeton a o so betumi awuram na so akwa akoto entertainment musician bi na edi na gra o so beka akoka audience no ati de mu nyina obi a body self now so bo say and o ma any say ubetimi are interacting with enipa across the globe omo animu omo awusia omo net no so no ni nyina no ebetimi are real adiama a revolutionary concept bia yede ba yede aba power sa virtual reality because say no musi ye no who on China say who hwe internet no untimi hunu say virtual reality who dey overka say ade no feel because I know 3 dimension akra dida enti no bibia ni ho a e kire say baba bi jawu anase bibia tisa eno na nche create businesses buy and sell say dem bi kan enti no ho so betumi akwa akodiuta na ne de wo kọ a no aka say scripture kan bibi say buy and sell no everybody no so unni mark bia yede ma obia no a ye force obia ma ne mark wo a wuni bi no untimi nto yede akwa wura internet no a bad any encourage you so obetumi awuram don so akwa ye participants na ni nyina no akwa ba say ene no ye behwe tools no a eno na ebetimi ama obi atimi awura sa internet ni na wakwa take part yedi kan no ye beka bibi ti say si bibi di blockchain technology na aba no eno sa no bibia o de beto internet so no the same of blockchain no so a akaso afibɔ bibia ni ho a obeya obetumi akɔ alter no intino na say betumi hwe ene so yabeka cryptocurrency nso asem
okay
because here pa roa orunso o be play ene ne keka but the edika na yabehwe metaverse no na ya bisa say a metaverse no ko a dey ba the first video.
Okay, your first video no abodi no what is metaverse? A question I will be say what is metaverse? Sa video no MC a mama yenhwe sa video no. Yo, abusia me say over bacho the din komo ma na video no.
Enti metaverse no na ebe ba aba me ehu kasatinti a meka yi nyina no ebe turn into kasaforu yet me ehu ne atiase enti no say enu nyama ya ye tosu miru.
Okay, MC video no MC amoma yenhwe video no what is metaverse? A question I will be sa na ne hu video na ye kohwe na abusuan MC amoma abusuan na enhwe video no.
The metaverse is basically the successor state to today's mobile internet. It's an internet that is going to be a lot more immersive, more social possibly, a lot more engaging, more 3D. So it's almost like the internet's going to be all around us in some ways, breaking away from our phones, our desks.
The metaverse is going to offer, at least in the way that we define it, let's say it's going to be Web 3.0. It's going to be a world that's going to be more seamless. It's going to give more opportunity for much better experiences, much more immersive experiences.
And to get there are a lot of different technologies involved.
You know, it is enabled by many different technologies. So AI, obviously, which is really hot right now, is part of the future state of the internet. AR and VR, 5G, 6G, cloud computing, edge computing. There's an element of blockchain as well, possibly. So yeah, it's kind of how we will experience the future state of the internet. So that to me is part of that beginning idea and concept of how do we make the world more immersive.
I am proud to announce that starting today, our company is now Meta.
Mark Zuckerberg made this announcement in late 2021, saying that his company is now going to be
Metaverse first, not Facebook first.
And other major brands and companies proceeded to join the Metaverse party. Fashion brands like Nike and Gucci created virtual experiences for customers to explore their history, products, and designs. Walmart built a virtual world called Walmart Land, where people can play games, attend concerts, and buy virtual merchandise for its avatars. But some people argue that the metaverse still has a long way to go.
You know, as much as I don't necessarily always like seeing those headlines that proclaim the death of the metaverse, I understand that it was overhyped. There was just a lot. I think it's important to kind of understand that, especially for the younger generations, for Gen Z, but more so Gen Alpha, whatever happens in these virtual spaces is still very real, right? Just because it happens in Fortnite doesn't make it less real to them. It's very real. It's this continuum of the spaces they inhabit, which can be virtual and the physical world. The friends, the relationships they make are real. For a lot of us that are in this industry, it's also making sure that we explain to people, like, this is a long-term vision. It's a long-term play.
We do have one more thing.
And there are some notable companies making long-term plays on the metaverse. Apple unveiled in June 2023 its long-awaited
Vision Pro,
a mixed reality headset scheduled to be released in early 2024. Tech website The Verge demoed it and called it
the best possible version of a VR headset.
Also in 2023, BMW opened what it calls the world's first virtual factory, a digital twin of a factory that it can run simulations on before actually opening the real physical factory. BMW did this using NVIDIA's Omniverse platform, which its CEO has compared to the metaverse. Epic Games, the developers of the hugely popular Fortnite game, is also deeply invested in the metaverse, after raising $2 billion to advance the company's vision to build the metaverse. The LEGO Group, which announced a metaverse partnership with Epic Games, is also bullish on the metaverse space.
Firstly, I don't think that Metaverse is going to be just one platform. I think Metaverse, at least in my view, should be platform agnostic. I think that's the benefit of it, is the fact that it's going to actually be agnostic to a particular platform. It's going to exist in different technologies, and it should be interoperable. And I think what's going to power it up is if people are able to move seamlessly through the experiences in the Metaverse versus actually being siloed into one particular platform.
So whether it's on Roblox, Fortnite, NVIDIA's Omniverse, and through a Meta or Apple headset, or something else entirely, there are a lot of different directions the metaverse could go. And that's the point. As technology, the internet, and the way we use both of them evolves.
This is not going to go away. The internet will continue to evolve. The hardware is going to continue to evolve beyond our phones. You know, what that post-smartphone future, new wearables are going to potentially open up new ways for us to engage with the internet. Those are all things that brands look at towards the horizon. So yeah, the long-term value is that things are moving fast, technology is converging, and a whole new generation that is going to change things is slowly, growing up.
Abusua, Wake Up Africa Jumadi Royal Television so na aye hu. Asem no of a car na aye te say ase one we aba fi say na we de be ye den kura na timi aba na we de ne ye no kura te say enso tem bia obeka na aye tete wa obo say na de na mpa na beto ye we ye video a excellent technology a omo hyehyɛ Jumaku ahodo a omokeka omo ho abom na omahwese saade we ampa ebebam we ye game de benya omo de buying for marketing kase in every angle bank for objumadie babia no ebenya omo de na esi da se ebeye te se glasses a ebe sewani ana se ebetimi aye o phone a ukura Nanso Ukrafo yite Ghana Nanso bibi koso wo America now o participate what join a wo ye bi se ne eye ade bi na ye ton na ye pe omo mbeto a wo Ghana nsusu na wawuram a enye aye visible ha na mu nyina mo ye we ka say we so kan we so kan we na mu nyina mu di mo ye bi we ni technology baby a yadu e wo technology no na ne nyina no na offer e kire yen se ne nyina no ye aboa because ane ma we na ba ne say ya we ye den you leave a trace esan say ade na akwakoto a okwakoto no ye be bi sa wo ID wo ID so de ye wo details wo din wo address wo niema na wo so enti wo be provide ne nyina na wo be to be ye sa de ne nyina be wie na wo be kono obwa yagese waja o trace baby ayenhwe wa hiye hu baby a wo se o phone number enti we ampa enema ofa eda na dia ma ye hu se sana ade no omo twiyen ewuram enti technology no omo de ba no enye se eba beboa wo se eba be ma o dwumadi akoso se be ma niema ye easy ama o te akwa otimi to ade fi America easy na aba na emum butaye no na ofa eda na di no over
Kobi medase yo and this say no ye twen se ye be roll ni out no 7 companies bi wo ho a wo mo na ye adwumadin sesei ama metaverse technology na di by internet mu abeye reality enkofo ni enkofo ayi ni mo mu dada meta no aka ho Google kan ho Amazing for kan ho nti min semre no ye hwe next video no a metaverse no a ho ase
yo your second video no abodi ni the metaverse 7 companies that are making it in reality. The metaverse 7 companies that are making it a reality. But mama busiana nhwe sa video no.
The metaverse is the next step in the internet's evolution. It's the convergence of physical, augmented, and virtual reality in a shared online space. The metaverse is a 4D version of our current internet, and it can be thought of as an internet that you're inside of, rather than one you're merely looking at. One critical aspect for this to work is that it can't be controlled by one company. It has to be a decentralized system with many companies supporting it. Companies that are likely to bring it to life are Facebook. According to Mark Zuckerberg, Facebook will likely transition from a social media company to a metaverse company within the next 5 to 10 years. Facebook already has a couple of products that will bring us closer to the metaverse. Facebook Horizon lets you explore virtual worlds where you can connect with people across the world, participate in fun challenges, and even create your own virtual worlds. And Facebook Workrooms is a collaboration experience that lets people come together to work in the same virtual room, regardless of physical distance. Facebook has divisions that focus on products for communities, creators, commerce, virtual reality, and augmented reality. And those divisions will increasingly work on new initiatives to support the development of a metaverse. Facebook spends $5 billion annually on these initiatives. In the near future, Facebook will probably incentivize people to join metaverse communities and use related services to require its virtual reality and augmented reality headsets. And as those communities populate, Facebook may gradually add new features and value propositions to increase adoption rates. In addition to its popular Oculus virtual reality headsets, Facebook is also working on augmented reality headsets. To top it off, Facebook has patents for semiconductor and brain-to-machine computing interfaces. All of this indicates that Facebook is aiming to get a first-mover advantage when it comes to the hardware market within the metaverse, metaverse communities, and metaverse workplace solutions. Number 2, Epic Games. Epic Games is famous for various products such as Fortnite, Roblox, Unreal Engine, and MetaHumans. Fortnite and Roblox, in particular, have metaverse-like elements like their own creator economies and the ability to use a single virtual environments, analyze trends in real time, and form highly accurate predictions that we could apply to the real world. We could see even more comprehensive uses of virtual environments modeled based on our real world in the future. Microsoft also offers the HoloLens, a holographic and mixed reality device specifically intended to enhance productivity and training efforts in multiple industries such as manufacturing, healthcare, and education. This headset enables people to interact with a high variety of work-related virtual objects in their living room. It's primarily used for enterprise purposes, but as its prices decrease, we may begin to see these headsets sold to the general public. Microsoft also has an app called Microsoft Mesh that gives users an AR and VR meeting space to interact with other users and 3D content. Additionally, Microsoft has Xbox Game Pass and Xbox Cloud Gaming, which could help facilitate efforts to use the software-as-a-service business model for certain metaverse components. Number 4, Google. Multiple Google initiatives could accelerate the development of the metaverse, including Google Maps and Google Street View, Google Earth VR, Stadia, Google Fi, and Google Assistant. Google recently introduced Project Starline, which makes virtual meetings feel like they're in person, and that's without the use of a headset. It utilizes the latest advancements of computer vision, machine learning, spatial audio, and real-time compression. From a consumer's perspective, they would need to buy technology-equipped video booths that both users enter from their corresponding locations. Each booth would feature a large 65-inch display that would enable users to engage in what looks like a face-to-face live video call with the other life-size person sitting directly in front of them. Google may also release hardware to facilitate augmented reality, such as an updated version of Google Glass. It's probably likely that Google will explore advanced virtual and mixed reality headsets as well. Google already offers a popular framework for developing AR experiences called AR Core. Apple is its primary competitor in that space. Number 5, Apple. Apple is unlikely to build a decentralized metaverse platform since Apple traditionally likes to have more control over its product and service ecosystems. But it may act as a major competitor to Facebook when it comes to hardware related to augmented reality and possibly even virtual and mixed reality. Apple already offers widely used frameworks for developing AR experiences such as ARKit and RealityKit, and it offers creative tools like Reality Composer and Reality Converter. Number 6, NVIDIA. NVIDIA has a service called Omniverse that helps businesses bring together various digital assets into a single virtual environment. Basically, Omniverse enables businesses to work with high numbers of file formats and collaborate with third parties using different tech stacks. A virtual office or workstation in the metaverse would have similar or more advanced capabilities. Additionally, NVIDIA's GPUs may play a critical role in enabling server-side 3D graphics and advanced artificial intelligence within metaverse worlds. Number 7, Amazon. Amazon doesn't have an advantage when it comes to the foremost hardware and software components of the upcoming metaverse. But according to Matthew Ball, a former head of Amazon would likely benefit from enormous increases in AWS usage and digital transactions in this marketplace. Amazon Alexa might also work seamlessly with augmented reality, virtual reality, brain-machine interfaces, and other technologies in the metaverse ecosystem. Thanks for watching. Make sure to watch the video to the right to learn more about the metaverse.
Abusia o share Wake Up Africa Jumedi Royal Television so haya na obenya Jumedi ni sei. Video no kire companies ahodo enso 7 companies a omatie gina se saade we new technology and advanced one yadum ne mpompo so yi no omo nyina no edom ho ahyem na me yama hyem e gire se sa platforms yi nyina ye platform a tese ne namafo ho na ye di agro Facebook, Microsoft, Google, Apple, Amazon, Niakaho. Aha na ye nyina ye di agro sambo fo nyina so na sa new technology o ma take care ene o mu de o ho ahyem e na sambo fo nyina ofa onim e wo ma obon se no ma ye new feature bi aba explore no ma ye obon se ma message new feature we aba explore new feature we aba explore like I say ofa now be any day say ya new one about there also say chere say o person hu bibi o person also advance with the you follow the trend. As the technology advances, you have to also advance. And over here, dear children, now we got over to because we Facebook, your Google, your Amazon, Apple, you see, I find it not been here. I'm not the name of our as I'm not doing. Over here, yo. Over.
And you know, Yadika who metaverse, Senia, ABC adwuma, and a company, or Munir Samba, and she Yadika country, say, and then one I'll be control data, and I may the idea and Tisaba, which is all by I don't have heard my food inside. No, I made your nature said media, me, Yashi, and I'm the and you know, assembly the air can into the send the and you know, yes, some of metaverse, no, they ever come from home and say it's a complete new way of rethinking about the internet. Adiana air ban technology no a ban any senior senior ubia didn't who be shame now a drew hand monoa and then a code there. Your friend is a pack for the future. Who make it internet available. A buying beer making available to all people, all hospitals, all schools. She said, Uncle, any group, you know, as we are Babel immersing in one. So, share the cost. Because I don't need the do. Bible said, everybody on earth, we see tonight. It is a sad year, the way never. Now, we are trashing, we make me a quack who should be no participate. One ain't going to try. One part ain't going to shame and conquer try.
You do now.
So, it is a member dear, Sanya Mekai. Web3, a base of blockchain. Web3, based on cryptocurrency, and in your cake. Now, Nina say cryptocurrency, any blockchain, and no na ebeboa. Amaya build trust. Web1 last week's overkaya, they read only. Web2 overkaya. They read and write. But I now say, you see, supposedly, Web3, no, users don't ever take control of their own data and in their cake and there. Not just that there has to be a trust somewhere. The cryptocurrency, any blockchain, and they act as trust. Send your Web3 no bar. Read, write, and trust the person ogidi enema ebe mu agi edi no enini nti na so do ho abubam enso akire etimi enya de enso ahwehwe afiri ho nti me say mre de enko hwe first picture
your first picture abodi eda so no Daily Graphic 29th August 2022 businesses advised to adopt blockchain technologies. Pacho, sa picture no mo fan to some famaye. Okay. I don't know that's no. I say businesses Daily Graphic Monday August 29th 2022. Businesses advised to adopt blockchain technologies. Okay. Businesses have been urged to take full advantage of blockchain technologies to transform their operations. Blockchain is a system of recording information in a way that makes it difficult or impossible to change, hack, or cheat the system. But baby, I'm making an answer. And I'm into a okay.
So, you technology via udi bibi kwa kusie ho a unya de koto ho a obiara ni ho a obetumi akwa akosesa as long as internet no ho no saa de na de koto ho no de main 70 years o that asase so obetumi akwa akohu de o to 70 years earlier de anya de a ebe fipa na so ho a blockchain trust no connect all networks. Here is second picture.
The second picture no abodi no question obisa. What is blockchain? And no sa picture mo fanti so enfamaye. What is blockchain? Aha. Okay. And that's so no. I say, what is blockchain? Question I go bisa. Explained, simple for beginners. I say, ashasia for no. Yes, chirasia. I say, a blockchain is like a digital ledger. Records transactions securely. Records transactions securely. Data is stored in linked blocks. It is decentralized for security. So decentralized. Some say last week.
You can one say.
Say last week of a chirasi ma omu chirasi ma of anso chirasi. You can decentralize. Eye say eye wana o control adie. Eye dodo no kra na ehu no. I say it is decentralized for security. Non-central authority. Hard to alter or hack. Okay.
Yanko next picture.
Yo. Your next picture no abodino how blockchain works. But your picture no mofa ento so emfa emayen. How blockchain works. I say how blockchain works. One no, I say a transaction is requested. And we are 1, 2. A block that represents the transaction is created. Now 3 no, so I say the block is sent to every node in the network. Okay. Now 4 no, so no, nodes validate the transaction. 5 for no year, the block is added to the existing blockchain. Now 6 no, so yeah, not receive the reward for proof of work. 7, you know, I say the transaction is complete. And this is how blockchain works. Okay.
And this is a sign here, dear. You can next video.
Okay.
Yes, I say.
Next video, no, near air can say how does blockchain works. But your video no mama ebusiano yanhwe.
But what is a blockchain? How do they work what problems do they solve, and how can they be used. Like the name indicates, a blockchain is a chain of blocks that contains information. This technique was originally described in 1991 by a group of researchers and was originally intended to timestamp digital documents so that it's not possible to backdate them or to tamper with them, almost like a notary. However, it went by mostly unused until it was adapted by Satoshi Nakamoto in 2009 to create the digital cryptocurrency Bitcoin. Now, a blockchain is a distributed ledger that is completely open to anyone. They have an interesting property. Once some data has been recorded inside a blockchain, it becomes very difficult to change it. So how does that work? Well, let's take a closer look at a block. Each block contains some data, the hash of the block, and the hash of the previous block. The data that is stored inside a block depends on the type of blockchain. The Bitcoin blockchain, for example, stores the details about a transaction in here, such as the sender, receiver, and the amount of coins. A block also has a hash. You can compare a hash to a fingerprint. It identifies a block and all of its contents, and it's always unique, just as a fingerprint. Once a block is created, its hash is being calculated. Changing something inside the block will cause the hash to change. So in other words, hashes are very useful when you want to detect changes to blocks. If the fingerprint of a block changes, it no longer is the same block. The third element inside each block is the hash of the previous block. And this effectively creates a chain of blocks, and it's this technique that makes a blockchain so secure. Let's take an example. Here we have a chain of 3 blocks. As you can see, each block has a hash and the hash of the previous block. So block number 3 points to block number 2, and number 2 points to number 1. Now the first block is a bit special. It cannot point to previous blocks because, well, it's the first one. We call this block the Genesis block. Now let's say that you tamper with the second block. This causes the hash of the block to change as well. In turn, that will make block 3 and all following blocks invalid because they no longer store a valid hash of the previous block. So changing a single block will make all following blocks invalid. But using hashes is not enough to prevent tampering. Computers these days are very fast and can calculate hundreds of thousands of hashes per second. You could effectively tamper with a block and recalculate all the hashes of other blocks to make your blockchain valid again. So to mitigate this, blockchains have something that is called proof of work. It's a mechanism that slows down the creation of new blocks. In Bitcoin's case, it takes about 10 minutes to calculate the required proof of work and add a new block to the chain. This mechanism makes it very hard to tamper with the blocks because if you tamper with one block, you'll need to recalculate the proof of work for all the following blocks. So the security of a blockchain comes from its creative use of hashing and the proof of work mechanism. But there is one more way that blockchains secure themselves, and that is by being distributed. Instead of using a central entity to manage the chain, blockchains use a peer-to-peer network and everyone is allowed to join. When someone joins this network, he gets a full copy of the blockchain. The node can use this to verify that everything is still in order. Now, let's see what happens when someone creates a new block. That block is sent to everyone on the network. Each node then verifies the block to make sure that it hasn't been tampered with. And if everything checks out, each node adds this block to their own blockchain. All the nodes in this network create consensus. They agree about what blocks are valid and which aren't. Blocks that are tampered with will be rejected by other nodes in the network. So to successfully tamper with a blockchain, you'll need to tamper with all the blocks on the chain, redo the proof of work for each block, and take control of more than 50% of the peer-to-peer network. Only then will your tampered block become accepted by everyone else. So this is almost impossible to do. Blockchains are also constantly evolving. One of the most recent developments is the creation of smart contracts. These contracts are simple programs that are stored on the blockchain and can be used to automatically exchange coins based on certain conditions. More on smart contracts in a later video. The creation of blockchain technology piqued a lot of people's interest. Soon others realized that this technology could be used for other things, like storing medical records, creating a digital notary, or even collecting taxes. So now you know what a blockchain is, how it works on a basic level, and what problems it solves.
Abusia Sabri Osha Wake Up Africa Jumadi Royal Television so na blockchain and video no explaining blockchain senate na blockchain na koye te say one information one some anase enema bia ebia o pictures wo messages onema wa store na ye de agu yemfa ne say owo Google enti onema wa udumadi a wadi wo Google nyina say wo move via fi Google akọ Amazon another platform so but wa no sa information na wo Google no eno ana ombehwe se ebekọ Amazon now odi fi ho ayekọ a ombehwe se on temper with o temper ewo se Google temper with a yina Amazon onye ntom ena se o fafi wa nso na wo ye o fafi Google ho de akọ Amazon o temper with a o de kwa Google onye ntom one septil enti ayati se blockchain no information na owo Google na o de to ho no sa information na no mo hwe se o kwa Amazon na eno ana be call na akoka na ye ufi ho kwa another here na eno so enti every platform I be call no Ome make sure say is the same enyamanana uja. There is nowhere to hide. To go boy kaya say over. I won't say there is nowhere you can hide. But when I say Ghana ha nyamana wa hye no. Opa kosha you can't hide anywhere. Like I say over. Omo nimnia omo ye ampa. Yo.
Enti de be say na wo kan am de be so so le bedru ho de ba. With the sources here. And then Web3 no. Uko site baby with details about yourself, data now the year you know. And what happen no movement. In here so uko ha o sako bobi bako na yi. Because I the only chili ko baby see a story.
For me say I know my me Facebook. Oma connect me Facebook. Me into your pen no be number. Omo your pen use your number. Ebi our number or register Facebook no. WhatsApp, oda your WhatsApp no. No matter Facebook or register number no. Okọ oma ye ne sa YouTube for okọ ye you a year. And one so no be ye to say.
Yes, oma ye no. And na baako ya hu say wa. Enti no here say actually so be tricks bi no aka say and then the family Kofi Kaka
of Anuntina almost time ma ye registration of yen SIM card no ango fu he o ma ton yen yo
why no ya na kon wa so si aton
ya to oba za de ni nim jama ma dada ya me de wa ko se ne mamu
wouldn't no buy or because a convenience.
Yes,
now the convenience. Eddie, I could do baby, and so could dra. Oh, because all my dad die. Because all was that looking to me. You are not doing for
I was also on my idea. Oh, my dear, I effect. I didn't know day. Oh, yeah, day out of what we can say. Effect. Ede.
Maybe hear me say they share tools no
fa.
They call baby I could see. You hear next feature.
Your next picture no abodi adaso no difference between blockchain and cryptocurrency. Pacho sa picture no muma yenhwe sa picture no. Aha. Ode etoso no ewo manim ha making kind. O say difference between blockchain and cryptocurrency. Eno na waye no tie no. Ana kese ho information ba bia obeko bia no sa pepepe ensisa da. I say blockchain, decentralized technology which records cryptocurrency transactions. Okay. I'll say a technology that runs the cryptocurrency transactions. No monetary value. They are non-transferable. Okay. Yeba cryptocurrency now. I'll say a virtual currency used in transactions on a blockchain. Used in blockchain to make payments, invest, and storage of wealth. They can be used as a measure of wealth. They can be transferred.
Apart from information, no, they say about sika someone. You know, the cryptocurrency in Babaye, and now the Babaye Ujuma deal transaction. No matter what Tracy was spending, new sika someone who ama. Nyombe say over and go with and now do go say muso awen say Babaye. Of say no kana Babaye enye sika ekura e Babaye digital virtual. Like I say, of I offer yetimi say obi na control system no. System na do go say mkanya wo dia. Google, Amazon, Facebook obi dia. Enti we of na nipa ne say okay, we sika na e wo ho no kra no. Me ya lucky wa.
Hey, what a cause of a car idea.
Aba, I go for I must offer ya
okay,
I'm patuane.
Go, young next picture.
Hey, and then young crash me why? Yo, picture a di ho no ye blockchain versus cryptocurrency. Pacho sa eno no mo fa ento so mayen blockchain versus cryptocurrency. Okay. Pacha picture mo fa to so maye elbe to so no say blockchain no say na ti o a decentralized technology on say how we dey asam piem like I say one platform ne be control different platforms now be ko bia oko Amazon omo control oko Facebook omo control oko YouTube omo control every baby a oko bia no enti a decentralized technology which records cryptocurrency transactions. A technology that runs the cryptocurrency transactions. No monetary value. They are non-transferable. Okay. When you say cryptocurrency, or say a virtual currency used in transactions on a blockchain. And that's the physical cash. And digital money. Digital money. No, baby, I don't go no. And you be platform. And you be there. You be running control. Used in blockchain to make payments, investments, and storage of wealth. Can be used as a measure of wealth. They can be transferred. Offer. Maybe.
And you know, cryptocurrency so. Every juma, our web 3 hon, send you CTN. Na ye ma history no you see any baby ni din Saudi Mbra Brantie. Ono eno create cryptocurrency Satoshi Nakamoto.
Okay.
I besi ne 2026 ya ye kan obi ani ni pakro. Enso we dey wajanich. Obi ani mu no.
Obedi no obi za bobi onati na ye.
Satoshi Nakamoto.
Yo.
Obeti ni di.
Yo.
Enje nkoko next video no.
Okay.
Ebebo ni di. Ya checho cryptocurrency no. Say ye, say nye, fa hun ko shem, men fa hun ko shem no. Ye hwe sa video.
Video na ye ko hwe no abusua ne ye ne mo hwe ne ye explaining cryptocurrency. Sa video no mo ma ye hwe.
Let's understand cryptocurrency. Think about the money in your bank account. It's digital, but your bank controls it. They decide when you can move it, and they can even freeze your account. Cryptocurrency is different. It's digital money that nobody controls. Not a bank, not a government, not a single company. It runs on thousands of computers around the world that record every transaction in a public ledger called a blockchain. Think of it like a massive spreadsheet that everyone can see, but no one can cheat or change. Every transaction gets locked into a block, and these blocks link together in a chain. Once something is recorded, it's permanent. You can't fake it. You can't delete it. You can't reverse it. You don't need permission from anyone to use it. You don't need a bank account. You don't need good credit. All you need is an internet connection and a digital wallet. That's the basic idea behind all cryptocurrencies. But Bitcoin is the one that started it all. Bitcoin is the world's first cryptocurrency. It launched in January 2009, and it's still the biggest and most famous one today. Here's what makes Bitcoin special. First, it's decentralized. There's no CEO of Bitcoin, no headquarters. It's run by code and maintained by thousands of volunteers around the world. Second, it's limited. There will only ever be 21 million Bitcoins, ever. Compare that to regular money, where governments can just print more whenever they want. Third, it's borderless. You can send Bitcoin anywhere in the world in about 10 minutes, and the fee is the same whether you're sending $50 or $50 million. Bitcoin isn't controlled by anyone, yet it's worth hundreds of billions of dollars. People call it digital gold. It's a store of value, a way to protect your wealth outside the traditional banking system. Let's rewind to 2008. Banks were collapsing. The housing market crashed. Governments were bailing out massive financial institutions. In the middle of all this, on October 31st, 2008, someone using the name Satoshi Nakamoto published a paper online called Bitcoin, a peer-to-peer electronic cash system. Nobody knows who Satoshi Nakamoto really is. To this day, it remains one of the biggest mysteries in tech. On January 3rd, 2009, Satoshi created the first Bitcoin block with a message. The Times 03/January/2009, Chancellor on brink of second bailout for banks. That message was a direct jab at the traditional banking system. In the beginning, Bitcoin was worth nothing. The first real-world Bitcoin transaction was in 2010 when someone paid 10,000 Bitcoins for 2 pizzas. Today, those Bitcoins would be worth hundreds of millions of dollars. Over the years, Bitcoin slowly gained attention. The price went from pennies to dollars to thousands of dollars. But it's been a wild ride, crashing multiple times and losing 70 to 80% of its value, only to come roaring back to new highs. Bitcoin might be the first, but it's not alone. There are thousands of other cryptocurrencies. The big ones include Ethereum, which lets developers build apps and smart contracts, stablecoins like USDT and USDC that stay at $1, and others like Solana, Ripple, and Cardano. But Bitcoin still dominates with the biggest market cap and strongest network. Now, how can you take advantage of Bitcoin? Number 1, hold it as an investment. This is the most popular strategy. People buy Bitcoin and hold it for years, betting that the price will go up. The term HODL means hold on for dear life. Number 2, diversify your portfolio. Financial advisors often recommend putting 1 to 5% of your portfolio into Bitcoin as a hedge against inflation. Number 3, use it as currency. Some businesses accept Bitcoin as payment, though most people hold rather than spend it. Number 4, learn the technology. Understanding blockchain can open career opportunities in this growing field. To get started, you need a cryptocurrency exchange like Coinbase or Binance, a secure wallet, and a strategy. Let's look at why people are investing in Bitcoin. Protection against inflation. Bitcoin has a fixed supply. Governments can't print more. Many see it as a hedge against inflation. Financial freedom. You control your Bitcoin. No bank can freeze it. Growth potential. Despite crashes, Bitcoin has been one of the best performing assets over the past decade. institutional adoption. Big companies like Tesla and major financial institutions now offer Bitcoin services, but Bitcoin is not perfect. Here's the reality. Bitcoin is risky, really risky, extreme volatility. Bitcoin can swing 20 to 30% in a single day. People have lost fortunes by buying high and selling low. Regulatory uncertainty. Governments are still figuring out how to regulate crypto. Some countries have banned it entirely. Security risks. If you lose your private keys, your Bitcoin is gone forever. If you get hacked, there's no customer service to call. Environmental concerns. Bitcoin mining uses massive amounts of electricity, scams, and fraud. The crypto space is full of scams, fake projects, Ponzi schemes, phishing attacks, no guarantees. Bitcoin could go to zero. There's no insurance, no safety net. Here's my honest take. Bitcoin is fascinating technology with real potential, but it's incredibly risky. If you're thinking about investing, here are my guidelines. Only invest what you can afford to lose. If losing this money would ruin your life, don't invest. Do your research. Don't buy just because someone else made money. Understand what you're buying. Think long term. The people who made money held Bitcoin for years through crashes and chaos. Diversify. Don't put everything into Bitcoin. Have a balanced portfolio. Secure your investment. Use strong passwords and two-factor authentication. Stay skeptical. If something sounds too good to be true, it is. Don't invest with emotion. Fear and greed are your enemies. Have a plan and stick to it. Bitcoin isn't for everyone, and that's okay. You can succeed financially without ever touching cryptocurrency. But if you're curious and willing to take calculated risks, it's worth learning about.
Royal Television, so Wake Up Africa, Jumedie, and Yasem Kumao. Bitcoin, Babia, Usikasem, or more try say a beya near Kogura. Now, fair no by control Sika Semina or transaction Seminano. A digital currency. A war internet and so. Yasin Nipa or the buyer, Abysine. Your Muyanas are better internet and so. Say, the dean, your body deans are no, and no, no. Ye huni pano say asimesi or bentain only ye wuni da. And as I dear way, akoso na. Then ya tiano, but yo, we pa. Na Hanson offer, ye say, ye dear bibi abakose. And ye so risky to the extent of say, a hot ye. Onu kwesema ye ready say wangaza no onya kronfo kra obesia kron no sem ye is as the do we be wiawo we betimi simple ye easy so we be wiawo enti obi wiawo say bia na wata musika nyina akogum na obi wiawo a o we ndey
I say don't invest with emotions.
Yes on here gangsters enti me say okwa say usua gangster dwuma ye. Yes, I say internet no so siam ye pa na yes over hu ba yo enti cryptocurrency a whole video and ye hwe no na no a form of investment as a odu sika o invest sika na a chire no wanya emfaso enti yes wo betimi ato na wa kipia o hwe na afi as a ne boa ye din a wo hwe na wo ya wo so wo ya mfaso abaso no na afi wo so waton wo de na kese wanya mfaso kese na watato wo no obekọ no na obi abu agum obi asesa wo sika ne wa yi ni nyina na wa hake wa ablock wo ama yesi akwa no information na da okeke uni hwe wo anu ti wei ene new eniema o mahyeha eba ena ofa ema ye hwe okay
entini ni nyina ni say see etimeti cryptocurrency nasi etimeti blockchain
ase over
because ye di ba ye adwuma in the coming new version of the internet.
About security no o security yes dan secure any security bia enti ayira untimi ko bi so bi untimi
so obi na
untimi fro bi
e ko no ho se ono ne the main man na Wodi bibia ekwa mano. So, insanity.
Okay.
Then to us next picture.
Next picture no abodi ni ye how Bitcoin transaction works. Sa picture no mofa ento so emfa mayen. I say how Bitcoin transaction works. Instagram. Oh, okay. Also ka ho saying Instagram.com crypto explorer. Okay. I know I say no. I say a transaction is requested. The block is sent to every node in the network. Transactions is verified by miners. Yes, omo ye ho adwuma, omo ye no, omo mine no. Okay. The transaction is complete. The block is added to the existing blockchain. Data is stored as a data block. Okay. Sa na eye adwuma. Now offer say if information no ewo ho, na say nyo obi na control, na say bibi say a say a blockchain no ewo ho, ewo ho no. Ada na say bibi say dia, omo say it's not secured, but information no ho.
Secured any saying say blockchain at the end. Unya de ade koto ho a network computer networks across the world.
Okay.
So how the future?
Yeah, but
and how the review koto a tampa.
Very good. Okay. What you say?
And yes, as not to be the koto a this is other blocks din nyina mani the aba no be pe no so dey enye possible. Next picture no abodi ni the 6 laws of Bitcoin. Yo. Ya say emra ewo Bitcoin ho no na enie. The 6 laws. Pacho mo fa sa picture nto so mai. The 6 laws of Bitcoin. Okay. The 6 laws of Bitcoin. Never discuss your Bitcoin. Don't ever disclose the amount of Bitcoin you have. That is BTC. Okay. So don't ever disclose the amount of Bitcoin you have. Not your keys. Not your coins. If you don't have access to your private keys, then you don't own your coins. Could you be say?
Hi.
And the keys near you. Private key in the own coin is ukra. So new that could be say more. And the demo in I know that.
Okay. As you said, near of what's sika wo phones momoi. Say odo pin eko o munim na opin e nekra de enano menam market mu ana ya frɛ maame bi na o ma frɛ maame no maka che maame ne sɛ o ma send ni sika enti maame ne nkɔ check na maame ne ye na no ka che no obo ne adamfo bakwa ma ne enti ye nyina me ne se na madu ho e ka che maame ne sɛ maame odo nsaka phone no pɛ osika na wo so ni nyina mi san sɛ o sika wo so se an unim so mo se ko check abakɔbɔ opin o ko check sɛ ampa sika na ba account mu a mo se ko check account mu ko check obɛbɔ opin no obɔ opin na computer si hɔ a mo twɛn opin no o mo nim nti ɛna o mo yɛ osa nti o mo twɛn sɛ obɛbɔ opin no ti wo kɔ ya obɔ opin na no sika na o mu nyina o ma twɛn nyina enti ɛhɔ na be ma me
ya send you sika no ni mo
I want to pay them. I know. Etienne, I'm saying, so be ya. Do mu phone answer. Udum na chen be say 5 minutes bi. Na san so. Answer na wako check. And the other corner. Na udum na wakate because oma connect o number. No manya o number no ma connect my laptop. And o ma check o ma wura wallet no mo chen o pin no de o mo ni. Che no e no mo che o nya de a. O sika ni nyina. Ko e na o bo no. O be bo phone so no. Na bo ne laptop ne so nti obehu ti wa ba ma no wa twe ni nyina akọ
ansa na fe ma me ni eba no so na azeri
the ancient government vendor bianca obeko street
yeah
ni pe o si ma send you sika any greeder
aba enti sa pepepe na gese omoka no enti say o say if you don't have access to your private keys then you don't own your account, your coins. If it's too good to be true, nobody in this world wants to give you free Bitcoin or 2 times your Bitcoin. If yes, then it's a pure scam. Your seed is your key. Your 1224, that is 1224 words. Seed gives access to your coins. Make sure you back it up. Okay. Investing. Never invest more than you are willing to lose. That is the loss. A war Bitcoin. Okay. Next picture no. Abodino 10 facts about Bitcoins. 10 facts about Bitcoin. 10 facts about Bitcoin. One, I'll say no single entity or government has control over the Bitcoin.
What? And you are buying it to me also. I am make any transaction. How safe is this thing?
That's why I know computer now. What's your more na more?
Any nipano
only no.
Obiara nim bi enti no aban ni control ade ayeye no aban fam
enti no say no security no guarantee no security guarantee
yes
I see
man.
Okay, the second one here, if you lose your Bitcoin private key, if you lost your Bitcoin private key, you lost your Bitcoins. Bitcoin can't be banned. At the end of the obviously, we are the day Abeka. You see,
Ponzi schemes buy one at me abanning. Almost about no assistant. Oh, Samba no assistant. Oh, Samba. I don't know when.
So I said Bitcoin can't be banned. Bitcoin transactions are measured in Satoshi byte. Papa na ni din no na yede ato so no Satoshi byte. Into I say 1 Satoshi equal to 0.00000 and Satoshi Nakamoto, the so-called founder of Bitcoins, is said to own 980,000 Bitcoin. Oh, okay. Yo, Bitcoin network is more powerful than 1,500 supercomputers, but together. Okay. I'll say Bitcoin network is more powerful than 1,500 supercomputer put together. Popular Bitcoin pizza. Or say popular Bitcoin pizza guy was the first person to use Bitcoin as medium of exchange. Bitcoin transaction can't be reversed. Agro. I say all Bitcoin transaction data is transparent and can be seen on blockchain. Okay. University of Nicosia, Cyprus, was the first university to accept tuition fees in Bitcoin. Okay.
And every lessons in the room.
Okay.
Jinafi, ya de baba tutu. Web no. Send away in an baby feature in the new internet. Into yanko next video 1 minute.
Okay.
Yanko video.
Video no aye kwa question no Bitcoin and the mark of the beast. That video no.
mama abusua no ehwe.
Unneeded information. All Bitcoin is a digital currency that is able to go from peer to peer, business to business, peer to business, business to peer, without the need for a bank or third party. Completely digital, never being physically held. The transaction fees are minimal and can be used globally, so there's no need to worry about currency costs between different nations. The technology blockchain provides a digital ledger that allows every transaction to be tracked and documented. So basically what we have here is a global currency, completely digital, never physically held, that has a limited quantity that never can be increased, very much like gold, completely opposite of cash. The elimination for the need of banks, they have low transaction costs, no currency risk, and all activity is documented, able to be tracked. Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies will be part of the implementation of the mark of the beast, though it will never be labeled as such. The money being made and the great buzz being created just creates hype that builds people's general acceptance of a financial system that will bring about total control over their lives.
Abusia, you say Bitcoin no. Edin adaso no. Aye the mark of the beast. Aye the mark of the beast. Pacho, I don't know what you are saying. Not just say of a summer or cancer digital currency. Baby, I hear pussy and dear in a question. A ho. Enti, you will do some pemponsono. Kese, uni, ranibia, untimento. He, and go for way. Yeah, Juma. Over.
Abe yanko Web3 no.
Okay.
Sani ebesia ya yenhwe.
Okay.
How it looks like.
Okay.
Any said the ebe na Juma nyina. Okay. Into next video.
The next video no. The coming new version of the internet, Web 3.0. Sa video no oma abusuani nyina ehwe.
When you read of Web 3.0, the majority sell it as a great thing. Like I explained earlier, they say it is a movement to reclaim the internet. It isn't one single technology or advancement, but it is a complete rethinking of how the web should work. Web 3.0 is said to be decentralizing the web once again and redistributing control and data ownership to its users. They say we are taking back our digital identities and regaining our freedom. This is truly what those that know about Web3 believe. And there is the rest of the public that don't know a thing about it, but they're just waiting to be herded in by default. Web 3.0 is the next evolution of the internet. It will be utilizing blockchain technology and tools of decentralization like cryptocurrencies. As I explained earlier, in our current version of the internet, Web 2.0, we are the products as we browse social networks and interact online. But in Web 3.0, it is framed that we will now be the owner of our content. The stuff that we post online, you have full control of your data. Like if you remember how Mark Zuckerberg explained it in his presentation about the metaverse, owning his rooms and having his NFTs and other items. You're gonna live in the internet. There was once a quote by Klaus Schwab when he spoke about the Great Reset, and he said, "You will own nothing and be happy." Something like that. It's because they're changing everything about the way this world works. When we look back at Web 1 and Web 2, we know there are middlemen. Like Facebook is the middleman for a community. YouTube is the middleman for content distribution. This is very much like in our finance system. Our banks are middlemen for financial transactions. The primary role of middlemen is to facilitate trust. But the more that we rely on these middlemen, the more control we have given them and the more dependence we have on them. Web 3 has been dubbed the read, write, trust web. With Web 3, in order to develop trust, it will use the technology of blockchain. Okay, now blockchain is a decentralized, distributed, immutable ledger. You're probably like, huh? Let me explain. Essentially, it's a secure way to record and keep track of information without the use of one central authority. Blockchain is decentralized, again, meaning it has no centralized owner or manager. Instead, it is managed and maintained by its entire network of users. It cannot be controlled by one government, corporation, or anyone. With no single entity in charge, blockchain allows its users to add and verify transactions and information themselves. Blockchains are peer-to-peer networks governed by their users. Blockchain is immutable, meaning unable to change. Once a transaction is verified by the network, it is added to the blockchain on what is called a block. And once a transaction is added to the blockchain, it is permanent. It cannot be changed. Users store copies of the blockchain on their own devices, effectively backing up its content in thousands of places in real time, and is said to be secure using cryptography. Blockchain uses cryptography for the encryption and decryption of information. All cryptography is, it's complicated, and maybe I can explain it at another time, but it's just another way of encrypting info until it gets to the person it's designed to get to, and then it's decrypted. So like, you'll send something, it becomes encrypted until it gets to me, and then once it gets to the person who it's supposed to get to, then it becomes decrypted. That's all that it really is. In the future of the world, everything is becoming digital. In this new system, every movement, every word, everything done is logged, tracked, and through blockchain, it's permanent. So let's say your child does a little chore and you want to give them something. You can't just give it to them, hand it to them. It's going to be logged. The system is going to know that you gave your child something, and they will know that you do this and you gave that. You lent your friend a little bit of money. You like to buy public subs on Wednesdays. I mean, everything that you do, they're going to be able to track, and it's always going to be there. It will always be able to be accessed and go back to. It's a new system of control. The next tool that will be used in Web3 to help with the trust is cryptocurrencies. You see, they can talk all day long today about cryptocurrencies and their volatility. That's all they like to talk about. It's only because the people they are talking to about this don't understand the technology and the future. If you understand the future, you would know cryptocurrency is not going anywhere. That's why Trump wants the United States to be the cryptocurrency and artificial intelligence capital of the world. For me, when I first heard of cryptocurrencies back in, I think it was 2012, I was completely confident of its future and its acceptance. Like Bitcoin, it was around $200 at the time. I was absolutely certain of the future, not because of a belief in decentralization. If that was the first thing I would have heard about, I probably would have written it off, to be honest, because I don't believe in a decentralized world. But anyways, I was confident of Bitcoin because I believe in the Bible, and I've been looking for the implementation of the mark of the beast. And once I read about Bitcoin, I knew that this technology was it. This is what it was going to be used for. And especially being that Obama at the time, he was really killing the dollar, I knew that there had to be some kind of replacement for this currency that they were destroying. But I don't want to get ahead of myself here. Cryptocurrencies in general will be used in Web3 to build trust. Cryptocurrencies are the incentive mechanisms behind Web3. Instead of using ads to power everything, cryptocurrencies are able to align the incentives of creators and users. Instead of passively using a network that is funded by someone else, blockchain networks are able to reward users directly, giving them good reason to support the network themselves. So understand, with Web 2, it chooses to extract value from users. Web 3 is able to redistribute value directly back to its users with coins and tokens. It's a complete new world and new economy. It is a completely new way of doing things, so it may be hard to understand and imagine at this point. But users are given tokens for participating, which then can be used to vote on decisions regarding how a platform should change or improve, or demand what features we want to be offered. These tokens could even accrue real value and build wealth. At Web 3.0, experts say that we will reach the point of the internet where every company is ran by decentralized groups called DAOs, which stand for Decentralized Autonomous Organization. This is simply an organization run by code that's agreed upon by the people who started the DAO. This is facilitated through smart contracts, which I cannot explain in this video. Our whole world and economy will run off these smart contracts. It's a new way of running companies, and this will work with climate change agendas as well. It's too much to mention in this video, but the climate change is 100% tied into the Web3 future. Now, another thing with this Web3, you will also see something called dApps. These are decentralized applications. These are open source apps created with smart contracts and executed on the blockchain. dApps bring together multiple smart contracts and add a user interface, meaning how the person would actually use it on the web. The result from a DAO and dApps is a new world of companies and applications that look familiar, but they provide the trusted, decentralized, and secure nature of the blockchain. It's how our companies and the apps that we use will appear and work on Web3. The key to Web3 is having a wallet. You need a wallet in order for you to use the dApps. MetaMask and Coinbase wallet, this is different from a Coinbase account on a centralized exchange. MetaMask and Coinbase wallet, these are two popular wallets. Wallets allow you to carry your cryptocurrency around. In our current Web 2.0, you only need a browser and apps. But with Web3, you need the web, which will be more interactive than a simple browser. This is where the metaverse comes in. You have these VR headsets or the other glasses like Meta's using, and Google, I think they have the VR headset. They're bringing virtual reality in with a lot of these things. And this will help you be in the internet. When you walk around, when you live in this world, you will be in the internet at the same time as you live out your daily life. And then you also need a wallet. This will be where your money is held and stored. In our current Web 2 world, data is collected and then sold to advertisers in order to fund websites and applications. But again, this world is changing. In the future world of Web 3, handing over your name, number, date of birth, and other sensitive information in order for a dApp to trust you, that's unnecessary because the blockchain will already have the built-in trust into the system itself. The idea is that users would reclaim their power and control over their own data. They could possibly move from platform to platform on the internet using a single personalized account, rather than having to log into multiple different accounts for each respective company and platform. And this is what the metaverse is being built for. This is like why you can see right now, you can always log in with your Apple ID and things like that. They're giving these ways of making your login easier. It's because you're being transitioned into the new system. And here's the thing that you need to understand. In order to transact and to buy and sell, you will have to do it through this system because this is what the new system will be based upon. People will have one online identity that they're able to use in order to live out their daily lives. And if you are non-compliant or you break laws or anything else, they can simply do what? Lock you out of the system. And that's what they don't tell the people. You have to understand this is a completely new system and a new world that's being created. This does not come about until the chaos. The system is prepared to implement the new changes, and the people are ready to adopt it. But for full implementation, there must be enough chaos to support a massive change for the whole world to adopt. Please understand, this is not hypothetical or far out science fiction. This technology is already here. They are just waiting to roll it out. They're building the infrastructure now.
Abusia Sabri Osha Wake Up Africa Jumadi Royal Television so na Abusia ade na ye hwe no wa ho ye wo mo ene mo amuwo social media platform no so no ye wo because o Facebook na o ko register ayi a omo kire se move your same ayi na no wo user account no and one on person will send the call other platform now no. They don't want you to go and do a new thing. 2 years almost so now you saw Facebook and one it's the same thing and no use to the third 3 your friend is saying Web 3 ni there. Say you ode wo hu nyina wura mama fe no say no there bibia wom no baby a omode ye kwakọ du no ye say Facebook and a media manner on information ade kone an on ogina na ohwe so ma but say Web 3 ni there ye wura ma woni obi a oye in between a on no ohwe oni internet ne nko a na eye mo ade e na mo di mo asem eti usi kasem obi bia o transactions awo ye oni internet obi a ni ayi bia oye nti to secure
omo esan say omo ni intermediary no and omo de cryptocurrency omo de friend saying we no cryptocurrency no ene metaverse no abeboma blockchain and a cryptocurrency omo de aboma no na beye intermediary ebe ginam senka na ono na trust because ebe ya obehu say internet ni behu say wo ma trust you enti ni metimi no aye transaction gomini obi a wo ginam mama mi bia enti mi am internet no ene wonti no ne trust a ode ma wo no cryptocurrency and blockchain eno ene ye trust a ejina one wontema ebema na ode wawuram na fe de bibia opese oye no waye over
Kobi enu nchechire mu waye ade na werum nyina no ya information we ba sani obia behu se enrumra web 3.0 no beba no at least obia wo an idea ndi enu nti no so do hu be shem bebreu so be sunson hu o ene enegyina wa wo so ba ye in such a way say ade a obetumi awuram na so akwa participate video we dey no aka say o so ena akọ wuram mu so a ye kan nyina ye ma ye ti ase say e be track o dia wuye bia enti no ni freedom and so you do as we tell you ye be kan na be ye wuye free
for baby e hu kura ne say na ye catch and say mark of the beast ye kan oba bible ne kan ya cheche yen ya yinimu no ofa na ya dwin nyina ye say
na asofo ne do ni mo ka che mo ma ko
enti we ya kan won ayo bitirimu wasrana o Kristo nipa watena so dem de ofa sa de we won aye ne tirimu wasrana ade ya si ye be force na sa tam no na Jesus abama se ade na ne ewo mu no sa omo si ansa na de we be ba no na Jesus ababi Jesus bi abama ofa ye tutu him nipa mienu mu da ha na ba kokọ eja ba ko enti mu amu be ka no mu na sa de we sa ebe mu aye nyina za na enim se ofa eye ye dada brabo sise ye ho ade na mbe fa so a unim say your daily life ade we ye kenyo fa what we know is say ade no your daily life ebe boa yen ebe hanse ama ya brabo no yetumi aye ni ye yetumi apima ko yanim ofa that is what we know.
And I said that we are na music by Garden of Eden. Yeah, Eve can
it's pleasing
and tree is pleasing to the eye and good for food. As a wood the any tree no a convenience. Yeah, the aba tifie kofie di ko tifie no ye bank transaction oh 19 ko e to da crowd when the site ye adwuma now I ye the kakra begu na account anyone know I dey na ha no ave uko ye wie na oba ya wa ba no si je ade no say na ti o nti mu hwe yi ave hu ya se ofa ndie re
oba ye izo
bi na otosoro no a wo ye adwuma no e be da mu ye ka say aba check hwe out o mda se aba dem eni de wa fe bi ya da yo Nasanya video no no. You see chaos, any confusion, and a day web near my mark of the beast in eba. Now last week me can be said maybe the Misusune financial crisis been a river. And then that's sorry, yes, we read the Hunter virus biba, yes, we read the Nipah virus, aba, as in say, oh, a call eba. All these things, crisis in waiting. And Sana, yes, I have cousin and say, would that, what you say, if we more shit, maybe, and so on, Tiasie, assassin, so he more than so big, and so you met me at Champa. But you know, the attorney said, and Massa, I dear vetchy, now, yet the Abbas we need the new version and I say a kwanya ye kunu chaos be ne beba senia covid no ba ye no ho afi do ba bi e ka say ye pandemic agin sem enti afi obi an taking instructions sa na we say so be Next video.
Your next video no abodi no how chaos and crisis will bring the Antichrist. Mama yehwe sa video no MCR.
And his army of acolytes at the social media giant Meta. The $2.4 trillion company
Of course, there's war. After this, there will be economic and a currency collapse that will throw the whole world into chaos. After countries are destroyed and populations lost because of the war that will ensue, after people die from famine and their new pestilences, after more judgment happens that they will blame on climate change, after the world has been completely uprooted, a new world government and a new leader will work with the brightest minds all over the world and bring in a plan of peace and security that will bring the world out of the ashes that it came from, and they will fix the problems that brought the world to that division. The phoenix that rises out of the ashes will be the new world order, and the changes implemented will be the Great Reset, and the leader that solves the problems will be the Antichrist. But before the full system comes online, there will be a gradual implementation, so people are gradually thrown into it, so you can gradually learn how to use cryptocurrencies, and they'll probably use this through the CBDCs and other things. But it's a gradual implementation before the whole system comes online when the new world starts. Understand, the system that will be built will be in the metaverse, and the whole world will be brought online. The whole world will be able to interact with the beast, the Antichrist, in the metaverse. And if you want to be a part of his solution, you will accept his mark. And that will be your only way to buy and sell in the world economy. We are all being primed and conditioned to accept it. All of these technologies are built and ready. The only thing that they are waiting for is implementation. And that does not happen until war and collapse, which is what we're currently watching happen right now. You have to understand that these people move through a philosophy of order out of chaos. And we are at the doors of the chaos. The one thing that you must do is understand how much you have placed yourself into the hands of the system and how conditioned are you to accept where they're taking things. Very much like when they put out the mandates. People were totally opposed to taking that solution until they tied in a requirement that you can't partake in the system. And then people started conforming and doing things they were initially against. It happens because they were never mentally preparing themselves to bow out and not move with the changes when they came. You need to be mentally prepared to disengage and understand what that will look like for you. You need to be mindful of your interaction online and how dependent you are of the internet. This whole topic is very deep, and this was only an introduction. Once you enter into the metaverse, this new system, you will be in Satan's world, and Yah will not operate in this world. This is not his creation. Satan has created his own world that he has the power and dominion over. And listen, don't ever mistake me and believe that I mean that Satan has more power than Yah there. I'm just saying, if you choose that world, you are choosing to be in Satan's world more than Yah's world that he created. And you will be judged in the real world on the day of judgment. I want you to remember what Paul says about the wrath of Yah in Romans chapter 1, verse 18 through 25. For the wrath of God is revealed from heaven against all ungodliness and unrighteousness of men, who suppress the truth in unrighteousness, because what may be known of God is manifest in them, for God has shown it to them. For since the creation of the world, his invisible attributes are clearly seen, being understood by the things that are made, even his eternal power and Godhead, so that they were without excuse. Because although they knew God, they did not glorify him as God, nor were thankful, but became futile in their thoughts, and their foolish hearts were darkened. Professing to be wise, they became fools, and changed the glory of the incorruptible God into an image made like corruptible man, and birds and four-footed animals and creeping things. Therefore, God also gave them up to uncleanness and the lust of their hearts, to dishonor their bodies among themselves, who exchanged the truth of God for the lie, and worshipped and served the creature rather than the Creator, who is blessed forever. It is so important to not be a part of that group that these verses are referring to. And let me explain why. We'll just keep reading up a few more verses. And even as they did not like to retain God in their knowledge, God gave them over to a debased mind to do those things which are not fitting, being filled with all unrighteousness, sexual immorality, wickedness, covetousness, maliciousness, full of envy, murder, strife, deceit, evil-mindedness. They are whisperers, backbiters, haters of God, violent, proud, boasters, inventor of evil things, disobedient to parents, undiscerning, untrustworthy, unloving, unforgiving, unmerciful, who, knowing the righteous judgment of God, that those who practice such things are deserving of death, not only do the same, but also approve of those who practice them. Romans chapter 1, verses 28 through 32. I read this because this is how those that will be living in the virtual world will be looked at in the eyes of our Creator. This is another wake up for those in Messiah to bring all thoughts captive into the obedience of our Messiah, use some discernment, and obey and follow the word of Yah, and turn away from this world and the direction it is heading. Understand it like this. None of this is hidden. You're seeing them build all the infrastructure. They're investing all in this right in front of your face. Understand, if the world cared about you, they will be fully informing you and allowing you to make your own educated choice as they are building this in front of your face. Instead, they like to tell you to just figure it all out while it slowly steers you and your children right into it. You must be smart and, above all, put down all idols and commit your life to the will of our Father in heaven. Read his word and obey it. Choose his world over the world Satan created. We are moving towards a new world order, and you have a choice if you accept it or not. It is important that you prepare yourself mentally, physically, and above all, spiritually. Serve the Most High and dedicate your life to his will, because the kingdom of Yahuwah is truly at hand.
Abusia Osha Wake Up Africa Jumadi Royal Television so video no kyerɛ wo sɛ ɔbɔ ade ahennie no aba Yeshua kan ho asɛm aba Bible kan yɛ ane na ɔse in the days of these kings shall my kingdom be established. Now in the days of these kings kings na ene omo hyehyɛ nneɛma omo control no omo yɛ omo adwuma Vatican yɛ na adwuma US America yɛ na adwuma Europe omo nyinaa hyɛm omo yɛ omo adwuma. In the days of these kings Russia bam omo nyinaa yɛ adwuma no sad time ya na oba ade nso kingdom na aba nya kingdom no na aba anka afaya opoku dankwa konte ha ene ensam a obie so kyerɛ wo no ne ahinta a omo ye osumase nyina no ene oye no oba ade adwuma no saa nete asomafo ne ba omo dwumadie no yɛse ansa na we nyina beba no omo wo nneɛma ɛsɛsɛ nhyehyɛ ne nneɛma omo de gu akwam na omo ye na wutimi fa kwan omo fa kwanyesa odi hu nyina ba kɔ wuram na no na obokɔkɔ sɛ mo ye den ɛbɛba omo de chaos ne beba na ama obia ho apopo obia suro na mo ye nyina de ho akɔsɛ odi hu hyɛm wi a na kɛsɛ omo nyawo enu nti wase sabri no eyebere a ese ema ye ni da ho yie ha o sumo ba ade a sabri ye bere a fei ese o prepare wa adwene uni padua ena wo honhom no usiesie no na wo hu ba bia ese wo de wo niema fa ama watimi agina oba ade kwan so na ne oba ade anante sanse wo pewu umpewu omo de omo se beba no ebeba ni omo ye bia no omo hwɛ sɛ ebeba enti ni omo hyehyɛ no ye pew ebeba yo over
kobi enti ye de anu besi ha ne okay senia ahwefo nso benya kwan abam
okay
na ye besa atoa so oba de me ahoden a na wotwe sene eno de emu be de kakra okay ebe hu kakra okay embrace ye ho
ye da say ofa abusiane nya da wase ofa sɛ oba ade ye adom no de kyɛn a da sene ɔsɛ ne eba no emu be ye den emu be ye hu kakra enu nti ya mu abua ye ho ema na wɔtwe sene a ɛwɔ ye nim a eba okay MCA moma yenkɔ abusiafo ne hɔ na yemfa messages ne nso so yemfa messages no na afei pamcho ɛyɛ messages line no mo obi amfrɛ me na emom no omo de line bi to hɔ na sa line no ɛno na yɛ calling ana phone in lines no na momfrɛ ɛno mom medam ase ɛnɛ yɛn YouTube no messages bia amma hɔ
nti yɛkɔ yɛn WhatsApp na yɛakɔhwɛ. Hello, dini Fakwa Ofrefi. Hello, dini Fakwa Ofrefi. Okay, yes, you.
Yo, and also you got the man movement, and you see our fat our Axano. Now, Tata the phone, so you be a that I'm and then for the man, and you now send your firma, you just say, we didn't answer for, now we didn't answer for the what any and answer for in a captain. With the man movement, any anything, you better fast.
Okay. Yo, yeah, that's it. Anyway, please, my name is Godon. I have these questions. Did Adam and Abraham observe the Sabbath? Say, oba dear man dear. Surely, observe the Sabbath. They have to. Neka omadiye. Hello, dini fa kwa Ofrefi. Yo, I'm with you. Okay. Yo, yeah, that's it. Onwa JJ, and I didn't message that, but also offer out. This is your grandchild from JJ. Please show him to why? Show him to why, please, brother Williams. Okay, yo, Nidia Odebaye. We say, good afternoon. Watching you from Koforidua. Please, when is the rapture coming on? Thanks. Hello, Dini Papa Obrevi. Hello, Dini Papa Obrevi.
Hello.
Yeah, hello, Dini Papa Obrevi. But also Frevi. Yo, yet you. Yo, yet you.
So, what will be the man? It actually a 6 number. No time to pay back African. So, what will be the man? It actually a 6 number, but I'm not for a year.
Okay. Okay.
But if you see how people move money, you say, move money, when you're not over control.
Sir, Yachra say near network new system or mobile debano. You are not in charge. Now, you are not in charge. The attorney said, now you say you are in charge, but you are not in charge. You are not in charge. Apart from Upin, Sikani knew her. Aha. Eti, oya nyama ye, you know, most of my block you or matiki. Opa, ultimate yashi. Now saying MTN mobile money for a binum ye or musika for musika. Omo ye transaction. I'm a binum so omode, omuko MTN for say, omuko for lawyers. Ansana. Omusika na omaye we no omom fa lawyers mbra asa na sika no omako gina court akoka ho asem hello udini papa Ofrefi. Hello udini papa Ofrefi. Okay yet was so nia ogina so no wantimi anyina so ene yankasa. Okay. Hello, Dini Papa Ofrefi.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
I'm a patrol. Freedom Man movement program.
Me patrol, I'm Freedom Mind the son away. Yet you.
I patrol me. So come Francis you.
Yet you.
What do you? Commission of power. Program of Adama. Ishimum crying, it is the Amomaya for Papa. Ishimum crying about the Ishamo.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it. And in there, Ode Ebaye. We say, good afternoon, please. My name is Brother JJ from Senior. Greetings to Brother Ediko, Mr. Israel Ofayao, and Mr. Chibi as Senior. Thank for
the good work you are so performing. Thank you. Okay. Yate was semono. We say, so far, is the name Jesus Christ ordained to save the whole world? Jesus is your soul, your shape. Hello, Dini Pakwa Ofrefi.
Hello.
Hello, Dini Pakwa Ofrefi.
Hello, me president Tambo de Ketame.
Me ba cho yetio.
Hello, president Tambo. Hello.
Yetio. Em say otie ne ho. Wake up Africa. Eno ana wode eba ye. I say, please, how do we wake up Africa? Asemo. Yo, ono so ne dia ode ba wan fa ne din anka ho. When you say, what is happening today? What is happening today has already happened. Okay, when you say they are or the bar, yeah, no, one for the day. Hello, Dini Pakwa Ofrefi. Hello, Dini Pakwa Ofrefi. MCR, mo check it line in my why. Okay. Because Amuba, I want to mean you answer. Hello, Dini Pakwa Ofrefi. Me pa cho yeti o.
Hello?
Yeah, yeti o. Mate, o tie o ho, ntie o ho, na ene me nkasa wo phone ni so, ntie o ho wo TV no so. Why? We ya ne sade a, o be delay na o ma obi entumi maso. Wofa ne na boafo me mamo atenase ya we nhira mo pi wofa nyankwada afidai we de ebeyi obiara abusuafo momma yenyina ho Hello, Dini Pakwa Ofrefi. Hello, Dini Pakwa Ofrefi. Okay. Abusuafo momma ni nna ho. Obonsam nche ade kwa. Sofo mame swag. Hello, mafe me that. Hello, Dini Pakwa Ofrefi. Yeah, Joso, the Pacho, Adaroma. Yet you, me Pacho, yet you. Yo, yeah, that's it.
Now, offer the after our market says, but you know, a food can sleep in one. Now, the Papa said, if I did many new check, if I demand in Yansa and move you. Now, or two for young Copona, what in the very arsenal. Offer the way I check the mail, yes. Me share a program where me remember menkai. No me some candidate me so for that so that and so me see na me be the because me check me ya so that na wono me hu me go because no be one na me nfa ka desire no small and na ko no small. Now what be many will come in so because the other name they who got any idea na man ya na di pa me. Na only offer Israel.
Mate, yedase. Asaf ma swag. Yate o message no obade enshira. And I greet you all. I'm Obed Aguna Hunter. Please, we want the movement at our place, a Hunter Western region. Hey, ya semu enyagro. Yo. Good afternoon, Ofa. You are a prophet of our age. I had Bitcoin some 5 years ago. I could trade with it around the world. But one day, I woke up in the morning and could not log into the system. I lost all my coins, equivalent to 12,000 Ghana cedis by then. Ofa, you have reminded me of one of the saddest day in my life. Long live Ofa Poku Dankwa. From Oda Ima Mankesim. Okay. Oda Ima okay from Oda Hima we do oye no Oda Hima Mankesim okay abusia me say fa me we ne to so ma me me momo line ne to so ma me na ehu hia me abusia me say yase kwanchan ade efe ni nyina no sika ene ye de ye ane wonsom ene nipa eno nti mo na mo beso ye mu ane wonsom mo ena ye be fremo na masomu ede amayen number no ene da so no ye momo line no ane fidie yi mu ye tena so a wonim se fidie eso ne ye adwuma ne nyina no sika sem eno nti fa bibi tom mayen na wo de tom a ye ba bebo udin na ya da wase ye mo udin but ye ba be da wase 0245 070164 0245 070164 edin a o de tuma be ba no Joseph Kofi Ediko edin ya me de say Joseph Kofi Ediko ane oye Joseph na pepepe nya enim no Bible no saa na ote nti o de tuma emohu feed the mind yensa ebe ka ane maka ne saa no na aseda piesie enkoma abusua ni nyina se endra ye nyina timbebo mu ma dwumadie no krabehwe kama mpanyifo se oba ade ehira mu nyina aha ana dwumadie no ye de ba na wiye mpanyifo amene omde dwuma no wofa ya opoku dankwa a wo ye executive director edema iku efe ne freedom mind movement medin ane Kofi Kumi me na metena mu se siamefo oba ade de se ye mbiem a de se na ye besan hia akra mu nyina
Grow